Saúl. How do I pronounce that? Because I see you've got one of them accent things in the
It's
name.
Saúl, to be fair.
Saúl.
Well,
The
nice.
only Saúl I know is a footballer who's not good anymore.
Who is it?
Saúl.
Surname? Or just Saúl?
They just go by Saúl. It's one of those. You get a lot of Spanish and Portuguese and like Brazilians do that, where they just go by one name.
I don't know. It's like, yeah. It's very strange in name heritage because the only other Sauls I know are Saúl is from Jewish descent. So it's not all
Saul's a very Jewish name.
Yeah.
The only Saul is a Jewish name.
Yeah.
So I guess Saúl would just be the Hispanic version of that.
Yeah, I mean they're Bible characters. They weren't the nicest. I can get into that.
Really? What do they do?
It's probably not best for the show, to be honest.
Oh,
I mean, if
okay.
any of our listeners want to search it up, feel free.
The only other Saul I know is Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
That's a great show, Better Call Saul. What did Saul do in the King Saul, the first king of the United Kingdom of Israel, who was known as Saul of Tarsus. Okay, he just sounds like a standard dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I was a bit stressed. I decided to cook a roast dinner today. I thought it'd be quite quick. It ended up being like 3 hours and a bit.
A roast dinner is not quick. If you're doing a roast dinner quick, you're not doing it properly.
Yeah, no, exactly.
My dinners have been quick. My meals have been quick lately because I recently discovered Iceland.
Oh my god! Did you not know about it?
I had heard about it before, only in the sense that I knew there was a supermarket called Iceland, which was supposed to be which had a particular reputation of not necessarily being the best or the most well-liked establishment by people. For some because I remember when England played against Iceland in the Euros a while ago.
Yeah.
And Iceland beat England. Much of the chanting was England fans degrading Iceland by calling them "you're just a shit shop in wherever." Right? I just swore before the. Well, honest, I haven't received any complaints yet. So.
Oh, fair.
Well, I have from my mum, who listens, but she's not listening right now.
What, loyal listener?
No, she listens afterwards because it's like what time is it in Hong Kong? I think it's like 3 a.m.
Oh Christ!
So it's
not that big a fan.
Yeah, 3 a.m. Next, I upload them all on YouTube. Which, if you are listening right now and you've got something else to do, feel free to go back on the YouTube. See, I'm great at the shameless plugs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think.
Do you archive your shows?
No, but I know I can. I think it's quite a good idea because I'm gonna listen back. I want to listen to Andrea's show, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna listen back, and it's because it's on YouTube. Because I know the archive only lasts 90 days here or something.
It does it. Well, it lasts however long they're legally supposed to keep it, which is probably something I should say in case some regulators listening, right? No, I think it is 90 days at least.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. It's they save it, but then you either throw it away by not saving it, or you keep it if you want.
Yeah, so I download the recordings and then I turn them into the videos. But then after that, I just delete the recordings. Because once I've uploaded it onto YouTube, I don't need it on my computer anymore. And I'm trying to clear out space on my computer. I'm trying to download a Nintendo DS emulator so I can play old Pokemon games. But my computer storage situation is it's not 7 o'clock yet, so I'm not going to say the word that I would say, but it's
small.
It's presently it's decent. It's decently sized. When I got the laptop, I had it upgraded. I didn't have it upgraded to the fullest extent because there were protests against that. But at the moment, I'm sort of running low. Not nearly stupid low, but when this is a 10 gigabyte thing, plus however much each individual game ROM is going to be. I do need to clear up some space, so I've started deleting old games on Steam. I don't need Football Manager 2018 anymore.
Yeah, I get the feeling. I used to play a bit of games, but I'm kind of glad I don't. This is I get given the I can't use that word. It's not that out yet. But I get given that kind of mediocre laptop by the DSA. I pay a bit for. And
What's the DSA?
It's a disabled students allowance.
Okay.
But it's quite good. It's only 200 quid. But
What
yeah.
What kind of laptop?
I think it used to be like Meraki or something, but it's Hewlett Packard. But it's not very high range. I don't really like Hewlett Packard.
The only one I know that is bad is a Chromebook. Those are horrible. I mean, they delete your, like, I know a kid from my high school back in Hong Kong, and we all were like getting a laptop because you need a laptop to work, right? And then also to do your work at home because they gave us a lot of work to do at home. But he bought a Chromebook because it was what he was used to from primary school, and that was stupid because apparently a Chromebook, if you use a Chromebook as nobody uses a Chromebook as a personal computer. You only use those as bulk units for an office or a school.
Well, I don't know how it is in Hong Kong, but I think like a lot of people, because you know about Curry's Piece of World. I don't know if you have.
I'm familiar with Curry's. I got my air fryer from there.
Oh, nice.
I love it. I love
air fryers so much.
Dude, they're the best. But anyway, yeah. What were you saying?
But yeah, like I think they're very good at pushing stuff, and like Amazon as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I think they must have a bit of money from Google, and they just push the Chromebooks.
I think I've not seen the Chromebooks getting put. I think Google mostly pushes that towards big organizations who are going to buy like 30 of them at once, and then you have those big like refrigerator-looking things that they wheel them out, and so like each one is just a laptop. There's no storage on it. So you're just signing in to your Google account so that anybody can use it. But if you are not using it in that way and you actually want to use it as your personal computer, the storage space is bad and it automatically wipes all of your data after 2 months.
Yeah.
It just expects you to sign in and use everything on Google Drive.
Oh dear. To be fair, I do use Google. Well, not Google Drive, but Google Notes and all that a lot. But it's like, relying on it.
I use Google products a lot. The logo for the show was created in Google Drawings.
Really?
I use Google Drawings a lot.
I didn't even know there's something called Google Drawings. So what can you do in it? Product placement.
You just it's basically like a what's a non-profane word? It's just a not so good version of Photoshop.
Oh, okay, fair. To be fair, Photoshop. Actually, did you know with the student account we can get Photoshop free?
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know. I didn't know about that. I knew back in my high school. I did a thing for extra credit where my school, the primary school, was right next door to the high school and the middle school. So I did a thing where once a week I would go down to, or once every 2 weeks I would go down with a buddy of mine to the primary school, and we would help teach ICT. That was hell, by the way, because those kids,
dear.
I hated those kids. They were horrible people. Like, you give a child who's like 7 years old, like an iPad or a laptop, and you try and teach them coding, they're not interested in coding. They're interested in colouring in, which, to be fair, I mean, they're like 7, but still, it was just a pain. But anyway, when we went down there, like a week early to talk about like lesson plans and such, the ICT teacher was like, you can get like something drawn up in Adobe, some Adobe product, right? I forget which one it was. But we were like, oh no, we don't have access to that. And she said, no, all students have access to this, which we didn't know about. So we actually, then she emailed the head of the IT department, and he was like, yeah, here's their passwords. So we were the only, despite the school was paying for the Adobe license for upwards of 300 students. And we were the only 2 people in the entire school who were actually given their passwords.
Oh wow! No, but that's the thing. I think like I don't know how it works in other countries, but I think like with ace.ac or .edu accounts, like you can get discounts or.
Yeah. We had a .edu account, so they most likely got a discount, but still, like considering how much everybody was using. It's past 7 o'clock. Shitty websites like Canva. Fuck.
Oh no, I use Canva. It's not great.
Canva is garbage. It is so bad. It's genuinely that's part of the reason why I use Google Drawings so much. You know, honestly, I do like Google Drawings, though it has a few features that you don't get in other image editors, but it's look. I understand it's not the cream of the crop. That's clearly Photoshop, but honestly, Canva is just such nonsense.
Yeah, no, I'll have a look at other things. The thing is like, I don't have an iPad or like any touchscreen things, so it's like it's very hard to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the logo for the show that I made is most of it is just various it's just various images I found on Google. Like, so I googled giant squid clip art and other such things, like a deep sea diver with a harpoon and an anchor, and I tried my best to recolor them to dark blue as best I could, and then I found a bunch of different fish. So when you look at the logo on the Instagram page at the Deep End Live, for all those listening, you can just see a bunch of like various clip arts in the background that I had to edit to make blue.
Nice. Did they come in PNGs, I'm guessing?
Yeah, whatever it was that was transparent, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, I'm surprised you don't use more stuff like that, because you're a bit of a creative type. You're a bit of a media man.
I wish I was. My parents are. Well, no, so I'm just promoting it to my friends. Hopefully, no, my parents are, and yeah, so they just do art classes. They're both artists.
Okay.
But I do not have that gene in my body.
Because you do a lot of stuff to do with the media. You have your own radio show.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like I guess you get to an age. I don't know if you've reached that age. It's just like you need work experience. Like I don't go clubbing every day anymore. Like I actually want to like improve my life. So.
No, clubbing is a very, very popular activity. I don't do it because I think it's naff.
No, I think it's all right first year, but it's like I'm third year now. Christ, I'm old.
Well, you're in your third year. Well, you're officially second year, right? Same as me. Yeah, even though we're both in our third years here.
But it's like my foundation year was like my clubbing year, I guess.
You did foundation year. I didn't do foundation year. I did first year and then I transferred. So.
Yeah. I suppose I never saw you on campus. Like.
No.
We knew one person in common.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you do a lot of other stuff with the. I mean, you're involved somewhat with the drama thing, right? The drama society or some sort of theatre-based thing.
It's like it's backstage society. We're always involved with the drama society, but yeah, we just do lighting, sound stuff.
Okay, so a bit more technical stuff then than it is creative.
Yeah, so I met this guy last year just randomly when I was working on the show, and yeah, he was like, if people don't join the society, it's gonna die. And I was like, I might as well join. Like, you seem like a calm guy. It'd be nice to be on a committee. It's good for my CV, and it's like good experience, I guess.
And then you also did an article in the Badger.
Yeah,
that's the university newspaper. I've got an article lined up, which was off to a great start. Started within 5 minutes of me being told that I was given the article I'd applied for. We got into a dispute over the word count because I was given a certain amount of assurance that I would be allowed to write an article that would be longer than the standard, right? So the standard is 650 words. And when I applied, I requested, and I know I wasn't expecting to get the full amount that I applied for, but I applied for 1,300 words, so like twice the length. But then they said, no, and when I asked them, is this possible, they were like, yeah, probably. So I'm like, okay, cool. Then they gave me the article, and the way that they message you to tell you that you have the article, I just found it quite rude. You know, it's like, hi, your article has been selected for the sports section. Please, could this be 650 words max? Thanks.
Yeah, I guess like
it's a bit cold.
I don't know. Have you met the committee? Because
God no, I haven't met a single
They're lovely
person.
people, to be honest. Like
really, I don't like journalists very much, so I'm not sure if I would get along. Despite the fact that I'm actually writing an article and I'm hosting a fucking radio show right now, I'm talking about how much I don't like journalists. But then they said like 650 words, so I negotiated. So they said 700 would be the max. Yeah, great stuff.
We can have a look at it later.
I'm doing the 50. I've got a 50-word bump. I'm doing the law skills competitions, and the one that I'm doing is negotiating. So I'm off to a great start with that. I was able to negotiate an extra 50 words. How brilliant.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever seen an article with that many words, because even front pages are only around 1,000, I'm guessing.
But even then, like the amount of, when I saw last month, when they put out the call sheet for all the articles that they wanted written, even on the day before the call sheet was supposed to close, there was so much open because people weren't just like, for certain sections, people were not signing up.
Yeah, no, I think I've got a feeling the editors take it on board or something.
Yeah, but even then, like, surely if somebody specifically asked for an extra long article, and you had space, you wouldn't just give the editor their 5th article for that month every month. You would give somebody a bit of a bump.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see later. We'll see later.
I mean, what was your article on when you did it?
So the first one. What was the first one? It was
you've done multiple.
Yeah, it's just a movie review. It's 400 words.
What was the film?
Oh no, 200. Sorry. Not Going Out. It's a BBC drama.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
It's like comedy. You know Lee Mack?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's quite good because I love him as a comedian. He's a great comedian.
Okay.
And yeah, the last one was Northfield Bar, which had to be approved by the
Oh
SU.
God, we cannot get into. We're not getting into that. We're not getting into. That's the fine line that I was supposed to have an entire. I was supposed to have an entire episode of the show about that, but no.
Yeah. No. To be fair, they didn't edit it that much. It's just like. Yeah, my point came across quite negative, which isn't the way
you're not allowed to have.
Yeah.
But of course we haven't. But I'm allowed to say that you're not allowed to be negative because I haven't said who you're not allowed to be negative about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you, with all of this stuff that you're doing with presenting arts, so to speak, right, with performances, what is it that you actually study?
I studied geography and international relations, so I guess it's a bit different. Although it is like you could say it's from a journalistic aspect.
Okay, so you want to go into journalism?
I don't know, to be honest. It's like I think that's the thing. It's like I got no clue what I want to go into, which is the excitement of life and like the nervousness. Like because I could be done in 1.5 years.
Yeah, you're already nearly halfway through your 2nd year of uni. If anything, your 3rd year of uni.
Yeah. So
normally you would have, not to sound like what I imagine your parents sound like, but surely at this point you would have a grip.
No, the thing is like, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But I feel like a lot of people don't know what they're doing. But I think you seem like you have the fortune to know what path you're on.
Yeah, I knew what the plan was, like a couple years before maybe 3 years before I even went to uni.
Oh wow, so what's the plan?
Corporate law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but even on my law course, which is something like, it's a particularly intense course, right, on the relative scale of courses, but a surprising amount of people have no idea what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, because your course is massive, and like I miss all the people from my foundation year, because they all went to do law.
Really?
Of course, I guess if you're getting in with low grades, like, you'd want to do the best course possible for yourself, which would be law, many see themselves.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know I want to do corporate. I know other people, like, I know a guy who apparently his plan is to drive a train.
Oh, fair.
Which is great. Look, there's nothing wrong with driving trains. I think
he might be acoustic.
It's an honourable job, right? You get paid quite well, and you get to go on strike half the time. But what's the point of studying law then? Like, look, I'm all for people choosing their own path, but what's the point of spending 3 years going into a massive, massive mountain of debt just to get a piece of paper that you're not going to end up using?
Yeah, I mean, you could get jobs as an ombudsman or whatever. Like, you got the law side of the trains and the unions, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I know other people who just like the idea of having studied law and they figure they might be able to do something with that, which I guess, yeah, if you don't know what to do in life, I suppose law is a good thing to study at university, because then at least it gives you the worst case scenario is you end up at a law firm.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which is not actually no, the worst case scenario is being a public defender. I'd hate being a public defender. Because then you're just defending rapists and murderers the whole time. It's like,
yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, because I was thinking, like, in the 2nd year, like, all of these people, they weren't friends, but I enjoyed hanging out with them. Like, I'd never see them again because on different courses, and I haven't seen them in fact. But
I haven't seen many people. I've just sort of been sat at home.
Do you not go seminars?
I know, as in on your course. Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
No, but even then, like the seminar groups I have, I don't know any, like, I don't know anybody in my seminar classes.
So I think that's the thing I miss. Like, because like I haven't had the chance to like just yap to random people, like talk to like new people. It's like being off campus now and like not having seminars because they cut all of our hours seminars.
Why is that?
Because financial difficulties.
Oh.
So yeah. But yeah, you look at the school and
in geography or in international relations?
Both of them, which
both.
is really fortunate.
Because I used to study international relations, so that I would, if I stuck with that, I would be in my third year right now, and I would be like wondering what the hell is going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing is, I feel like it caters to a certain aspect, certain people's like who enjoy economics, and like I'm struggling with it because I've never studied economics as well.
Oh, okay. I did economics at GCSE, and I did higher level economics at IB, so I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Plus, the first episode of this show was about economics. So.
Oh, fair. Who was it with?
One of my flatmates.
Oh, fair. I have to give it a listen then, I guess.
Yeah. All of the recordings are on YouTube. So if you're just tuning in now as well, and you want to go listen to the rest of what we've been talking about, you can go find it on the YouTube. If you go to @TheDeepEndLive on Instagram, you can go follow that page, and all of the links are in the bio. Because I've managed this stuff quite well. There's a website called the Linktree, and I've got this thing, and it takes you to all these different pages that I've got associated with the show. Like it's got the link to listen to. I need to do the attendance sheet because that's a thing for some reason.
I don't think they check it. Like
I don't know either. Oh. It's got the link for the URF website, where you can listen to the show. Because who owns a radio anymore? I mean, in your car. But then, like, if you're not driving, are you gonna go sit in the car purely for the sake of being able to listen to the radio? That sounds stupid. Then it's got a link to the YouTube channel and a link to the Instagram channel.
So yeah, give it a follow.
Give it a follow. Come on.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm a bit envious because I need to start sorting it out better. It's like, as you said, Canva's quite.
I mean, what's your show called?
The Final Vinyl. So.
So it's another music show.
Yes.
I mean, music shows. They're no offense, are about a dime a dozen. You know, only I think. Well, actually, to be fair, only just over 70% of all the shows on URF are music shows. So
I don't know. The thing is that I'm just doing URF experience.
So like, if you're, I guess the music ones are sort of less. I mean, how much talking do you do?
I do quite a lot. I always get a guest on every week. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if it's one of those ones where like there are certain shows where they just show up and they start pressing and they just start playing a set playlist. There's no point in archiving that because that's just the playlist. But if you're doing talking, then I suppose you might as well archive that. Plus, it's good. Like they say, well, in my training they were like, oh, maybe 20 years from now you'll want to go listen back to this.
Yeah, I guess. Show the grandkids, I guess.
Yeah. Well, 20 years from now is probably a bit soon to have
Feeling old now, so.
I mean, you're what, 21?
1 year off, 22.
22. Yeah, like if you're even 42 is a bit young to have grandkids.
Yeah,
right?
no,
considering
joking.
You don't have kids now, I would assume, right?
Yeah, no, I got them
like,
hidden
you
away.
Can't, ending up with grandkids in the space of 20 years is a hell of a thing.
I was talking to a mate the other day, and I said like your grandmother sounds well, and I said like how old is she? He says 65.
Oh, fair enough.
Very young.
Probably from a rural area because they don't have the same. Well, they don't have all of the same things that are causing birth rates to decrease in urban centres.
Yeah, I mean he's Ecuadorian, so I don't know how.
Ecuador. Yeah, no, they've got decent birth rate going. I mean, some countries are really, really fucked. Like South Korea, their birth rate is something like 0.75, which is ridiculous. Like considering you need 2.1 as the normal replacement rate, right? So I think statistically, if what happens, if this birth rate continues to happen in South Korea, the population is going to decrease to just 25% of its current size in just 3 generations.
Oh wow!
Especially, although I guess if there's any country that can sort of somewhat afford to have a tanking birth rate, it is South Korea. Because there's always the North that you can like, assuming things eventually reunify. There's always North Korea, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's only 25 million.
even out the population.
So North Korea only have like 20 million people, not many people.
Yeah, because South Korea had a big explosion in birth rates following their economic miracle, and then it's really slowed down because of their ultimately absurd work culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's no better. Well, I mean, it's better here, but still.
Yeah.
Anywhere except, I guess, Africa, it's falling at drastic rates.
Birth rates, yeah. I mean, there's the Indian subcontinent, and some parts of Latin America. I mean, you're probably more of an expert on Latin America than I am.
I think Latin America's got like, well, if you look at HDI, which I guess correlates with declining birth rates, like.
Although some of the highest birth rate countries in the world have high HDIs. Look at Israel, but that's mostly because of their religious thing.
Oh, is it fair? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because Latin America is definitely falling, and like, yeah, I think Argentina and Chile are falling at a.
Well, it's they're just, those guys are struggling economically a bit. Well, you're half or full Venezuelan.
Half Venezuelan.
Half Venezuelan, so you probably know a lot more about economic struggles than the average Argentine. Not that you've lived in Venezuela.
Yeah, I don't know. My dad doesn't talk about it a lot. I mean, I was in Venezuela, but it's just.
When were you in Venezuela?
I was in Venezuela in September.
Oh,
So,
how is it?
It's interesting. The thing is, it's like, it's very strange because it all works in demographics, because like 60% of the people have dual nationality with a European country.
Really?
And that's
what percent, sorry?
Probably like 60%.
Wow.
Because they got rid of all of the indigenous people, of course, during the 1700s.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they all survive remittances. So if that money wasn't sent from Europe to Venezuela, they all would have left by now.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It's like there are quite a lot of people who want to stay, and like I say, at least 15 million people out of the 20 million do.
Oh, okay.
And like, but
I mean,
yeah,
like,
10 million people.
Venezuela's one of those places where it is, from all the photos I've seen, it just looks like it would be a beautiful country and a lovely place to live if it wasn't economically struggling. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you stick with it, eventually you're going to be rewarded. Compared to a place like the UK, where weather-wise, weather is probably one of the worst in the world in the UK. I mean, sure, there's some of the best history in the world and some of the best architecture, at least outside of London. But I mean, how's the weather in Venezuela? I'd much rather see that than.
Yeah, to be fair, it's mostly good, but I think so. I went during the rainy season. The rainy season's from I think June till September.
Oh yeah, I think
Then,
it's
like,
similar in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and it's like it was just grey all the time, which is really surprising.
Oh, in Hong Kong, it sort of goes from. It'll be really bright, really sunny, really humid. Then boom, you're getting torrential rain.
Really?
And it's completely black outside, and then it's fine again afterwards. Other than the, I was going to say the occasional tropical storm, but really the frequent tropical storm, because I think Hong Kong has one of the highest.
Is it very flat land? Because
No, it's actually very mountainous, but we just get hit. But everybody lives normally within a few miles of the coast, so.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking about Caracas, like, well, the capital of Venezuela, like, it's a valley, so there's never any storms. It's just cloudy weather.
Oh, okay. No, it's in Hong Kong. It's a series of islands and a peninsula, but everybody lives on the coast or within a 5 to 10 minute drive of the coast. So you get a lot of storms.
Yeah. No, that seems like it's very different because I guess it's very like low land, whereas Caracas is very high land. So it's like always cloudy and
Yeah.
it's nice, but yeah, it's like. Well, I was in Austin early this year, and like that's completely different.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh,
35 degrees every day.
35
blue
degrees
sky.
Celsius.
Yeah,
Okay.
I loved it.
What were you doing over in the United States?
So yeah, I was doing Camp America, so I just did that for like
What is that?
a summer camp in USA. So I was working with like just school-age children, dealing with that, which was interesting, I'll say the least. My boss was an interesting man.
Tell me more.
Just I don't know if I can use these words, but they're quite strong even for the watershed. But yeah, it's just I don't know, just American work culture. They always have power trips, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And like yeah, he was like paying because our agency was a bit corrupt. We're only getting $4 an hour, and I was like, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
put a
didn't
smile
they
on my
didn't they
face.
fly you out?
No, I'd pay £1,000 up front as well.
Oh,
So yeah, I got 500 quid for. Well, I got $500, which is about 370 quid, I guess, for about a month of work, which is
that is nothing.
love it. Yeah.
I did an internship over the summer for 3 weeks and I got paid handsomely, especially considering they didn't actually make me do all that much.
Yeah, I'm guessing you did in the UK.
No, Germany.
Because that's the thing, it's like, there's so many loopholes in the UK. Like, I've got a mate doing a year's internship for NHS. He gets £6,000 bursary. That's it.
For an entire year?
Yes.
Wow. No, I got can't remember how much I got, but I saved it all. So I've got it sat in a bank account because I'm saving up some money to go to maybe Canada. Because this sounds nice.
What, are you gonna see your flatmate?
Yeah. Just see the sights of Toronto. Plus, I know some people in some of the smaller towns in the Ontario area, like fishing, shooting, dirt biking, chilling. So Canada seems like a vibe, especially in the more rural areas.
Yeah.
The city not so much, but I also know a hell of a lot of other people. Like being from Hong Kong, a lot of people go to Canada. It's one of the more popular, like Canada, Australia, London.
Really? What do you think?
Because it's just a general Asian diaspora.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of business that comes in from those countries to Hong Kong, and so a lot of people from Hong Kong will relocate there for work.
Oh, okay.
And they're all just English-speaking countries, and in order to work in a lot of fields in Hong Kong, you've got to have pretty good English proficiency. So it's not really that much of a transition, especially considering like anywhere you go in a major city so like Vancouver, Toronto, London, Melbourne, Sydney, you're gonna have a Chinatown.
Yeah.
Sydney Chinatown's pretty nice. It's near the harbour.
That's what I was thinking like earlier. It's like if I want good weather and like I want English speaking countries, Australia's quite a good option, I guess.
Yeah, I'm considering going like my sort of backup option if Hong Kong doesn't work out, if the economy continues to sort of backslide, which unfortunately is the unfortunate reality of the situation. I want to be positive, right? Because I'm I don't want to say patriot because that's going to get me arrested, but I'm a bit of I love Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's the city I was born in. It's the city I was raised in. I think it's the greatest city on earth that I've been in terms of like quality of living. Sure, there's going to be there's a lot of issues with housing, but everything other than that, you're doing pretty good. Public transit is incredible. The weather's mostly pretty good. Everything is so dense, so it's really quick to get to work and back. But if things don't work out there, like career-wise, then Australia is the next option.
Yeah, I mean having family there is definitely an advantage, and like I've got family in USA, and it's like.
Really?
That's what I was thinking.
In Texas or?
Florida, Orlando.
Of course, because you're Venezuelan, so
yeah.
Everybody, let me guess, Miami?
No, they used to live in Miami, but yeah,
Okay,
not Orlando. But I don't really like Orlando. It's very
Orlando's
corporate.
much more of a tourism town. I mean, Orlando didn't exist as a place until Walt Disney showed up.
Yeah, but you say that until you go to Central Orlando, because people just go for the parks. But like, I went clubbing. It's just all corporate. Like it's like Canary Wharf, the area.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando is sort of the Las Vegas of the East Coast.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of corporate events there. A lot of conferences, stuff like that. It's a big part of the economy. But economy, well, I'm not sure about what's going on in Orlando at the moment, but Las Vegas is having a fucking hell of a time.
Really?
It is really going bad for them at the moment because they're seeing that the younger generations are having a hell of an impact on the American economy in the way that they do things differently to their forefathers. So like we're seeing a decline in suburban populations. And are you familiar with the concept of an office park? Have you seen the show The Office?
Yeah.
That sort of building.
Oh, okay.
It's a suburban office park.
Like industrial estate, kind of.
I think that's the British term for it. But these buildings are slowly becoming more and more unpopulated because young people do not like the suburbs.
Yeah.
They want to live in the cities.
Yeah, because it's like it's built really weirdly, isn't it?
Well, it's very car centric, and young people in America now, at least the current generations of millennials and Gen Z, seem to value larger social circles and more active social lifestyles than previous generations.
Yeah,
who were a lot more reserved.
Because that's the thing. Like going from the camp, like I heard about the success of Nashville and like going to Austin, and I see why the public transport was actually really good for USA.
Yeah,
like the buses were basically free. Like,
I mean, Las Vegas is notoriously bad for that as well. And another thing is that young people are not gambling as much, at least in person. Part of that is just going to be like different views on gambling. Same thing with drinking. Both of those are declining in the United States. But young people just, especially nowadays when there's so many options on gambling online. I mean, it's everywhere. You know, like whenever I have the lads over to my flat to watch some football, at least one or two guys is going to have a parlay on, or an acca, as the English call it, which is a parlay. Just it's a hell of a word. You know, I don't like accumulator. It sounds a bit too mathematical, a bit too scientific to be fun.
Yeah, I've only heard acca, but I guess it's a cultural thing.
You know, in America it's called a parlay. You know, you get a bunch of different things on and you try and hit that bet because LeBron James sold you at the final leg. But no, so Las Vegas is seeing a decline in tourism, which is not great for them, especially at the moment, considering they're trying to ramp up how much they're appealing to different groups. I mean, they've just got I think they've definitely got a hockey team which started in maybe 2022. They have the Raiders now. I don't know when, which is the American football team. I don't know when the Raiders moved to Vegas. The Raiders moved in 2020, and they are soon going to the Raiders in 2020, the Golden Knights in 2017, which is the hockey team. Then they are going to get the Oakland Athletics, which is the baseball team, which you might have heard of from the film Moneyball. The one with Brad Pitt, where he plays the baseball executive.
Unfortunately, not. I'm not one for movies. Sorry, let me just.
They're getting the Oakland A's. They're spending billions of dollars on a new stadium for them, and according to every sort of credible rumor, they are supposed to be getting an NBA team with the next round of expansion. So they're really going all in on sports, and these are some massive facilities.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, well, with the Raiders Stadium. And to a lesser extent with the Golden Knights Arena, they're getting to use that for stuff like concerts and other events. But apparently a big problem, especially with the Raiders, is local people aren't going to the games. So it's all away fans showing up for sort of the novelty of the experience, and eventually that's going to dry up.
Yeah.
When you've been to Las Vegas, especially considering, I think in the NFL, you only have 9 home games in a year, in a season. Well, 8 or 9 home games, because there's a 17-game season. You have 8 or 9 home games unless you make the playoffs. And I think 3 of those games are your division rivals, which are the teams that you're guaranteed to play every single year. And so when the Raiders are in a division with one of the Los Angeles teams and I think Denver or the Denver Broncos, I think. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, the Raiders are in a division with Denver, Los Angeles, and Kansas City, right? At a certain point, those 3 fan bases are going to be sick of going to Vegas every single year.
Yeah.
So when Las Vegas's entire economy is built on tourism, and that's already drying up, it's going to be interesting to see but the same thing is happening in Austin. Austin had a massive boom, and some people are saying that they overinvested in the time period in which they were experiencing massive growth because people were expecting working from home to become a major part of things.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people moving from California with those tech jobs. They came to Austin, they realized it's not really what they were expecting because the heat was a major factor. And then now offices are wanting people to go back to working in person because really, if you're working from home, you're not fucking working.
I don't know. I haven't worked from home, so.
I mean, did you do online school during COVID?
Yeah, I get you then.
How much work were you actually doing?
Not much. Sleeping.
Because my mum listened to this. I was working the whole time. No, I mean, but look, when people are working from home, and I saw it when I was at doing my internship in Germany. 3 out of the 5 days of the week, pretty much everybody was working from home. And if I messaged someone on Microsoft Teams to ask like, hey, can you give me this information or this file that you said you were going to send me, I just wouldn't get a response until the next day when they were back in the office.
Really?
They're not actually working from home, and so the companies, especially with like, are we in a recession yet?
No, not yet officially.
But with the recession certainly coming, a lot of these companies which are struggling now are trying to ramp up productivity, and so an entire cohort of people in Austin are being called back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange, the different working cultures, because I feel like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, do you plan on when you eventually enter the job market, which is very soon, less than 2 years from now, you're going to be looking for work. Where are you planning on doing that? You going to go to London, as is I think standard in the UK, or are you going to?
I don't know, to be honest, because like London's so expensive, and it's like I was thinking I could do a teaching qualification, but I'm a bit young to become a teacher. Like they're all like at least 30 years old or older.
Well, by the time you finish university, have you turned 22 this school year already? Or?
Yeah.
So by the time you finish university, you're going to be 23.
Yeah. No, the average age for about teaching in the UK is like 32, I think.
How long does it take to get a teaching qualification?
1 or 2 years. So
let's say you're going to be 24 by the time you get a teaching qualification, right? If the average age for a teacher is 32 years,
yeah,
think about how many old teachers there are, right? So there's definitely a hell of a lot. If the average is 32, that means half the teachers are under that age, right? So a 24 or 25-year-old teacher, there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you have to spend like 1 or 2 years as a TA, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is I do enjoy teaching, but I don't know, because I feel like it's very cliche to go into civil service, and like everyone who does my course will go into it.
Into what? Sorry.
Civil service.
Okay.
So is
working a civil service gig. Working for the government.
Yeah, but it's kind of not. I don't know. It's not like working for a MP, for example.
Yeah, I think normally when I hear civil service, I think of the dudes from like Yes Minister or the thick of it.
Yeah.
Like the guys that work for a governmental department, but are not political appointees.
Because I think that's the thing. It's like we're always gonna have these people, and it's like I want to not make a difference, but I want to like make a difference. I guess like I want to be able to use my public voice. So I guess like policy change would be quite good, but I also just want to make a change on people's lives and a change in my life. When I had to follow someone's directions, I don't particularly agree with.
I guess teaching is one of those ones where people feel a certain level of gratification from that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like it's not great money, but it'd be nice to have holidays. Hopefully, be able to travel. So
yeah, that's certainly something. But I mean, all I think like when I think of teaching, I think of like how crap a bunch of kids are in these days, where like they're just like pelting you with nonsense.
Oh no, absolutely. That's the thing.
It depends on the catchment area you get put into work at.
Yeah, it's depending on the size. Like I was working at a primary school in a village, and it's like the kids were lovely because it's like it's a small village.
But in the big cities, hell.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to work in London, Christ. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
So when I was asking you for some of your interests that I can talk to you about, one of the things you listed, right? So a lot of this, you spoke a lot about you mentioned languages, right? You're trying to reconnect with your sort of Venezuelan roots, I guess, by learning Spanish. And all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you also said you're doing salsa.
Yes, indeed.
You're learning to dance. How is that?
So it's going very, very poorly. I say that. But yeah, just try and connect the Latino roots, and I thought everyone dances salsa in Venezuela. Like everyone and their nan. Like I remember my nan 5 years ago when she's like 85 was dancing, and it's like it's just a nice thing, it's a social thing as well, I guess.
So how is your Spanish proficiency then on like a?
I'd say I don't know, because it's like I don't put it in a lot of like.
And what type of Spanish? Because isn't don't you get like you have the sort of main Spanish dialect, then you have like all the different dialects from all the different countries in the Latin sphere, right?
Yeah, so there's two main ones. It's Castilian and something else. You might know. I don't know.
Leonese.
I don't think so. But yeah, so you have dialect from north of Spain and south of Spain, and like all of the ones from Latin America.
Andalusian.
Yes, Andalusian.
Okay.
And yeah, so I think it's Andalusian. So yeah, we don't use a lisp, for example. But the slang's a bit different. But I say it's less different than like American English is to like standard English. Like,
I guess so, but I guess it's a cultural thing because you're just very separated from your home cultures. Like
yeah,
the American culture and British culture are very distinct. On the scale of Western cultures, they're pretty far apart. On the scale of global cultures, they're very, very similar.
yeah,
Right? American and English culture is going to be a hell of a lot closer than, say, English culture and Somali culture, for example. Right?
yeah. But I think that's the thing. It's like it's very different, and you have to look at history because I say like I don't know. A large minority of the population in South America came across during the like 19th century, 20th century, during the wars, and like even before that.
Like during the Spanish Civil War?
Yeah, I'd say even before that, like the end of the not Holy Roman Empire, but yeah, like around that time. So a lot of the Spanish culture came back, I guess. So like they use a lot of words. The slang's a bit different, but the majority of it is very similar.
Yeah. So then, which one are you learning?
So I'm learning. I'm pretty sure I think it's Andalusian. So yeah, Andalusian and Venezuelan. So we have a bit different slang. We don't use the lisp. So yeah.
Yeah, I am German, despite Hamps being the most British-sounding man of all time. I think the only British dude who sounds more British than me is the guy off Peep Show, whatever his name is.
What, David Mitchell?
David Mitchell.
I love him so much.
He was good in that other show, Ludwig. But so I learned I learned Hochdeutsch at school, which is the sort of standardized form of German. I'm not actually sure from which part of Germany that comes from, because I know it's definitely not Bavarian. I think it's a weird thing where Hochdeutsch comes from southern Germany, but not like Austria or Bavaria. Even though Hoch means high, because it's sort of higher in like elevation more than than in like north south. So I guess it's more of a like from Württemberg or Baden or the Saarland roughly those areas, I guess. Maybe Hesse or Thuringia, right? But my family and my ancestry is from the northern provinces, like mainly Holstein, but also like Hamburg and Schleswig, right? So when I go, the northern German dialects are a lot closer to Hochdeutsch sound-wise than the southern German dialects. So for example, when I visited Switzerland, where the majority of the country speaks German, despite the French people constantly trying to insist that it's them, right? When I visited Switzerland, I forgot to bring, like last year, I forgot to bring a travel plug with me.
Yeah.
And I found a tech store, right, some electronic store. I go in and I ask the guy, and I find it and I bring it to the counter. I have to wait 15 minutes for the dude to stop talking to this person. Then after he does, he brings me up, starts talking to me about some loyalty reward scheme, but in Swiss German.
Yeah.
And for context on how different Swiss German is to standard German. In standard German, the way you would say Swiss German is Schweizdeutsch. In Swiss German, you say Schweizerdeutsch. That's a hell of a difference. So this guy starts at 500 million miles an hour. This guy starts talking to me about some loyalty reward scheme for some Swiss electronics store I've never even heard of, or never even been in before that day. And I just stared at him with the most blank expression on my face. I'm like, nine, that which is no. Like, I'm like, no thanks. So, okay. Then I ended up having to sit in a McDonald's for 2 hours because like I was too tired to do anything, and I needed to drop off my stuff at my Airbnb, but I couldn't get in for another like hour and a half. So I just sat in the McDonald's charging my phone, and then some gypsy woman comes up to me and starts speaking to me in Swiss German, but with the gypsy accent, which was even harder to understand. I'm like, I'm struggling enough, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's through like etymology. Like I really want to get into it, but it's just like I don't know how to. It's like the study of languages and like how they evolve, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in Venezuela with your Andalusian, how tough of a time do you have understanding, or do you still try and learn
Oh no,
Venezuelan as well?
I speak the Venezuelan version of Spanish. So that's the thing. Like Latin Americans based off Andalusian.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but a lot of the like, yeah, but I mean a lot of the majority of the Spanish population are Latin American. Like now, I guess it's like 200 million compared to like Spain having 80 million people. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Spanish is one of the most popular languages in the world. I mean, it's certainly in the top 5. I think.
yeah, I think it's so the amount of native speakers is above English, I think. But because of internet culture, of course, English is like lingua franca of the world.
The most speakers list of languages by number of native speakers. The number 1 is Mandarin Chinese, which 990 million natives. I don't believe that. I don't believe that China's population is as high as they say it is, because when they've had the one-child policy for so long, and when they had so many famines and so many floods and so many plagues, you would have expected it to not be so high.
Yeah.
And especially when you consider the way that the Chinese government works, in that the people in charge of reporting population figures are the local governments, not in fact the central government. And the way that the central government allocates funding is by population. So all of these local provinces, these local regions, have a massive incentive to just lie about their population.
Yeah.
So I don't believe there's 990. I don't believe that there's over 1 billion people in China.
Yeah, and it's quite hard to like.
What is the official number?
And I guess it's quite hard for like international organisations to like audit the number because.
Yeah, because they're very secretive. 1.4 billion in China. Maybe I could believe it if it was, let's say, 1.1, 1.2. But there's certainly a hell of a gap between where they say it is and where it is. Spanish is number 2. 484 million native speakers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very impressive number, and like, I think that's the thing. It's like, and I guess, like, language in the media is English, but I guess it's kind of changing now. Like, you have stuff with like Bad Bunny taking over the Super Bowl, all of that. Like, I mean, even on Twitter, like, I'm seeing more Spanish and Portuguese posts.
When I was in Germany, I got a hell of a lot of German posts. They were mostly jokes I didn't get about the football team Augsburg.
Yeah.
And Augsburg is not a very significant team, so I don't know why they were sort of the talk of the town.
I say like.
They get a lot of shit for good reason.
I know St. Pauli do because they're
Fuck
hippies.
St. Pauli. But yeah, so English is 390 million. I saw a stat today or yesterday. Singapore has a higher level of a higher percentage of people in Singapore are able to speak English than people in the UK.
Really?
How the hell is?
I think you should source check that.
The percentage of people. No, it was like from a very notable thing, right? Like very reputable source, or whatever. But how the hell is the UK below? The UK should not be ever below 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, actually, that's a controversial thing to say these days. But like, how is even like?
I don't think that's true.
I think it was the percentage of people in the UK that can speak English was 98.3%. I can remember that much. But like, how does that? Well, we know how. I can't say how. That'd get me taken off the air. But it's certainly something. But I mean, English is a good language to have. It's I know a lot of people have, as a native speaker of English, a lot of I hear a lot from non-native speakers that it's got a lot. And it is true. It has a lot of eccentricities to it. You know, compared to other languages, like there's a lot of random rules, like silent letters, or different conjugations, which like when you're a native English speaker, it just sort of makes sense in your head.
Yeah.
But when you're not, then it's hell to learn.
That's the thing. That's the thing with Spanish, because you know what you get.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So I think that's the thing. I'm very good at writing in Spanish. It's quite. So yeah.
I mean, But you're better at writing than speaking, or?
I don't know. It's a mix because I do use Google Translate when I write quite a lot, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
It's just a double check.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite a good. I don't know if you've used it in your language learning, but it's quite a good tool just to, like, check and like remember stuff.
I don't. I will. If I'm using Google Translate, I will only check like one word. Like if there's a specific word that I don't know, I'll check that. And otherwise, I'll just wing it. And I normally sound like a dude with a concussion when I speak German, because my accent is when I speak German, my accent is perfect.
Yeah.
But my grammar is poor. So I sound.
That's the thing. Grammar's so boring to learn, isn't it?
It is. It really is. Especially when you've got a language like German where there's 5 or 6 or 7 different ways to say the.
Really?
I mean,
I know.
And depending on what tense you're speaking in, the way to say the for that particular word changes.
Really? I know die.
Der, die, das, dem, dis.
Dim.
Bin is not how you say the.
Yeah.
Der, die, das. But there's another version of D. Then there's des, which is really a weird one. Then there's derens. There's a bunch of like edge cases, but mainly it's der, die, das, or den, or des. So that's the big 5 ways of saying the. I love how English you just have the.
Yeah, that's what I love because it's like, I mean, when with Spanish you have like el and la.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just for the different genders, right?
Yeah.
Because in German we have like masculine, feminine, neutral, plural, and then for each of those, depending on the tense, if you're in the nominative, accusative, dative, genitive, don't even ask me what those mean, right? If you're in any of those different tenses, then the masculine, feminine, or neutral becomes something else.
Dear. I think that's the thing, is like we don't have the best language. We don't have many like relations to other languages. Like if you look at Frisian, which is our closest language, it's not very similar.
I think I've heard a lot. I think I brought this up on an older version on an older episode, but there's a famous interview with a Spanish poet or a Spanish writer, right? Or he might be from that, but it's a Spanish speaking poet, and he was talking about how he stopped writing in Spanish. He switched later in his career to just completely writing in English because he thinks it's just a better language to write in. Because when in English you have 2 different registers of words, you have the words from German, and you have your Germanic words and you have your Latin words, the Norman words. And so there's so many different ways to say the same thing. But what I also like about English is that the technical words, the grammatical words, you don't have that. You just have the. I don't need a Latin and a Germanic version of the. But when it's on a noun or an adjective, I love having so many different words. Because I mean, you just get so much. Like, it especially works for something like comedy. Because in comedy, you should never say the same word twice in a sentence. If you are, for example, if you are setting up a joke, and the punchline of the joke is a pun on the word rabbit, during the joke, you should not say the word rabbit. You should say the word hare. Or if there's a pun at the end based on the word dog, you say hound during the setup.
Yeah.
Right? In other languages, it's like you don't really have that. You can't have, at least not to as much of an extent as in English, because you have those 2 different registers of phrases, plus the occasional influence from Celtic languages like Welsh.
Yeah, I guess that's a really interesting way of looking into it, because I think that's the thing with like Spanish. It's quite like a lot of people don't use many words to describe stuff. Like they only really use 4 or 5 tenses, when there's about 20 tenses you can use. Well, 15 tenses. So yeah, but just halfway learning the grammar, then it's vocab.
I mean, but language is an interesting thing, you know. I keep getting videos from that one guy on Instagram, the etymology dude, and those are always interesting.
I'll search him up. Sounds really interesting.
When he points out like the origins of a word, or like how slang has like interested things. I saw one from this other guy about how a lot of British slang comes, or like a lot of English language slang comes from playing poker.
Really?
but specifically poker in the United States. So for example, one of the phrases was "pass the buck," because when you're playing poker, you have you have a sort of token that says that somebody's the dealer.
Yeah.
But apparently in a specific area of America, they didn't have that, and they used to just use a knife. And the handle of the knife was made out of buck something.
Oh, okay.
And so when they said "pass the buck," the next guy's responsible.
Buck deer.
I think it could be.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's like buck hide handle or something like that. And so when the next guy's becoming responsible for dealing, you're passing the buck.
Oh, okay.
And so now, like
that's the thing I find interesting. So like, it's all American idioms. No, it's not. Like, we invented the word soccer, for example.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah, I hate the word soccer though. Like football is it's just the best way to describe it. The Americans calling their thing football. Look, you have the kicker and you have the punter in American football, and those are the only guys who touch the ball with their feet. And even then, you ask an American football fan to name. You go to America. You ask a fan of any of the 32 teams in the NFL to name a single punter that is not the one that's on their team. They won't be able to name a punter.
Yeah.
Right? You ask them to name a kicker, they can probably name 3 or 4. They can probably name you the dude on the Chiefs. They can probably name you Pat McAfee, and maybe 1 or 2 guys that have played for their team or have broken a record or 2, right? And even then, nobody gives a damn about the kickers unless they're breaking a record or unless they're fucking up, right? Nobody cares about them, so it just shouldn't be called football. I like the term gridiron. That's the most appropriate one, and it's a badass name. I think they should just call it gridiron.
Yeah.
But NGL doesn't sound as good as the NFL.
Yeah, no, I don't know the whole football thing. It's like, you look at Portuguese, Spanish, I don't know any other. What's in German? Is it?
Fußball.
Oh, fair. So like, all those 3 languages against, it's like American.
Just against American.
Yeah.
And then, I imagine, and then I guess the Australians as well.
Yeah.
Do they call it soccer?
I don't know.
Because they have their own version of.
But Ireland has their own football. I mean,
Yeah, but nobody really cares about it over there. But then in Australia, it's sort of different because you have two different. You have what's called the Barassi line.
Yeah.
Which is the line between where Aussie rules football is more popular versus where rugby's more popular. And so I guess the people that watch rugby might call it football. The people that watch Aussie rules football might call it soccer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But so it's a crazy thing that you have this country where there's just a random roughly arbitrary looking line down the country that sort of can tell you what sport the average person's going to watch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, that's true with smaller countries as well, because it's like you have to focus on one team, and that's the thing with Venezuela. Our national team's baseball. People do care about it.
You guys are good at baseball.
But that's the reason why we can't qualify for the World Cup. Because you've got all the money and passion going towards that.
I think Venezuela's the only team in South America to have never been to the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's 20 if you count Guyana, Suriname.
The only team in CONMEBOL, which is the South American Confederation. Guyana and Suriname have never been, but Suriname actually has a good chance of qualifying for the next one.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual teams in the South American circuit, it's only Venezuela.
Yeah, it's so sad. But I don't think. I mean, at least Bolivia aren't going to qualify because Bolivia beat us to that.
Bolivia, they're altitude merchants. The Bolivian national team is only capable of winning games, and it's a very interesting phenomenon. When you look at the table of CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers, CONMEBOL being the South American, the South American Confederation for football, Bolivia has 6 wins and 10 losses. All of those wins are at home.
Really?
Bolivia, at least I'm pretty sure, because Bolivia is known for not being able. I think their nickname is El Altos, which means like you would know. What does that mean?
The high people, I guess.
Yeah, because Bolivia is so high up in the mountains, and their stadiums are so high up in the mountains that the other teams should have trouble adjusting.
Yeah, I think that's part of that phenomenon was. I think FIFA initially banned it, but they had to backtrack for some reason.
Well, they had to backtrack because No, even if you said to Bolivia you can't put, because Bolivia was organizing games in like some of their smaller towns, so that they could have even higher.
I think that's what they're doing now.
Even higher up.
It's not in their capital city.
But even then, even if it was in the capital, well, because Bolivia really has three cities. You have La Paz, you have Sucre, which are the two capitals, and then you have Santa Cruz de la Sierra. All three of those are very high up in the mountains. So even if they are putting it in one of their three largest cities, you're still going to get the Brazilians and the Argentinians having to show they try to show up as early as they can for the Bolivia games, in order to try and adjust to the altitude by giving the players extra time in the climate. But given the way that the structure works for World Cup qualifiers, you don't have that time. If you are playing a game 1 week, if you're playing a game one day at home in Brazil, and 4 or 3 days later you're having to go to Bolivia, you don't have that time to do a proper adjustment. Or even if Bolivia is the first game in your qualifying schedule, you have at most 4 or 5 games, and even your taking of that time to adjust to the altitude is going to cost you some time properly training, because Bolivia is not going to have the same level of facilities as you would in your home camp.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so silly. So you could have with this close to like getting playoff spot, then Bolivia had to like beat Brazil somehow.
Yeah, it's. I mean, South American qualifiers are a hell of a thing. But anyway, we've got 2.5 minutes until my time slot officially ends. What would you like to say to the people, Saúl?
I don't know. Follow the final vinyl. If you want to. It'd be nice to see some more viewers there. So
that's a hell of a way to cut a promo.
I don't know. I'm just laid back.
Yeah. So the final. What can people expect if they tune into your radio show?
So yeah, I have exclusive interviews. We just have play music vibes, I guess. So like we had Halloween special.
When is it? That's an important thing to tell people.
4 to 5 on Mondays.
4 to 5. That's a decent spot.
It's a very weird slot.
I mean, I like my weekend slot.
Yeah. No, it's very nice to be honest. And like,
do you play vinyls, or do you just use Spotify?
That's the thing. I need to like learn how to. That's not a vinyl player. I think it's vinyl mixer.
Next to me in the studio, there's there's 2 vinyl players.
Yeah.
I don't. I use most of the time. I just use it as a water bottle stand. Because I don't know how to.
No, that's fair. I try to get like. There's this guy who knows how to DJ, so I try to get him on. Although he's been a bit crap at his replies, so we'll see for his special.
I've only ever considered. I know a guy who collects vinyl, but I'm not much of a music guy in general. I've only ever considered buying a vinyl once, and that was the Wii Sports soundtrack.
Really? Where did you find that?
Just on the internet, mate. Internet's a magical place.
Yeah, I guess. No, I've got a few vinyls, and to be honest, you can get a lot of them cheaper than like CDs. It's just you need to look in right places.
Yeah, I mean, I saw there's a place in Hong Kong. I saw an Instagram reel of a dude who does like collections of stuff, and there's a place in Hong Kong which is like really famous. It's just like, you know, that pencil shop in Iran that people keep posting about, where it's like only the owner of the shop knows where, like, there's 2 million pencils or some shit. But there's a version of that in Hong Kong which is with vinyls.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about music so much.
I don't know. Like, I'd say if you can get some like copyright free tunes,
that's something. Yeah. I mean, as the Wii Sports soundtrack is copyrighted, obviously, but I guess Nintendo's going to be a lot less religious about striking you down for playing it than some of the music studios are going to be if you're playing some of their content.
You say that, but you've not seen their lawsuits. Crazy.
Yeah.
But no, it's been lovely talking to you, and thank you for the interview. So.
Yeah, it's been good to have you on. Tune in again next week at 7 o'clock, same time. Have fun, everybody. Have a good week.
Yeah, have a good week. Thank you.